segment, we talked about the placebo effect and its opposite, the nocebo effect, which proved that some combination of positive belief and the nurturing care of the right healer can help turn off stress responses and turn on relaxation responses in the body. I also taught you some proactive tools that you can use to activate your natural self-repair mechanisms by turning on your body's relaxation responses. Now, let's learn how to proactively reduce the number of stress responses that your body experiences so that you're not inadvertently turning off your body's self-repair and anti-aging mechanisms. So your first step is to get to the root cause of your stress responses. While you will definitely benefit the body by taking actions meant to activate your relaxation responses, you won't be optimizing your health unless you also learn to reduce your stress responses. The goal is to put your body in relaxation response as often as possible. But no matter how much you meditate, or give generously, or see healing practitioners, if you're in a soul-sucking job or an abusive marriage, your amygdala is going to be triggering stress responses. So learning about all this got me thinking about how we define health. What really makes the body healthy, and what really predisposes us to illness? Sure, traditional healthy behaviors can greatly benefit your health, but it became clear to me that this simply wasn't enough. What I discovered is that in order to be wholly healthy, you need more than just traditionally healthy behaviors. This led me to develop a groundbreaking new wellness model based on scientific evidence, which I call the Whole Health Cairn. And I want to teach you how to use the Whole Health Cairn to help you assess which aspects of your life might be triggering stress responses so that you can make life choices that help you convert your stress responses to relaxation responses. So you know those stacks of balanced stones that you see adorning beaches and marking hiking trails and sacred landmarks? They're called cairns. And like them, the body is awe-inspiringly strong and resilient. And at the same time, it's fragile and it's easy to tip out of balance. So the stones in the Whole Health Cairn are all the aspects of your life that have been scientifically proven to affect your health. So in order to be optimally healthy, you need healthy relationships, a healthy professional life, time to express yourself creatively, a feeling of spiritual connection. You need a healthy sex life, a healthy relationship with your money, a healthy environment, and a healthy mind. You see, at the very top of the Whole Health Cairn is where your body's physical health rests, because your body is the most precarious. It's the stone the most likely to tumble if one of the other stones is out of balance. So each of these stones in your Whole Health Cairn is capable of activating either stress responses or relaxation responses in your body. So a toxic relationship can signal danger to your amygdala, filling you with cortisol and epinephrine. Whereas a loving relationship can calm your amygdala and fill your body with oxytocin and endorphins. A miserable work environment can stress you out, whereas pursuing a passion and fulfilling your life's purpose, like Andy Mackey's harmonica project, that can relax you. So you may not think that your relationships or your spiritual life or your financial life affect the health of your body, but the scientific literature proves that they do. The body is the physical manifestation of the sum of your life's experiences. It's the outward reflection of your wild and precious inner life. So you see, the foundation stone of the Whole Health Cairn is that part of you that I call your inner pilot light. So when any of the stones are out of alignment with the truth of your inner pilot light, stress responses are triggered and the body suffers. But each stone can also activate relaxation responses. Your inner pilot light knows what's true for you. It's your inner doctor. It holds the answer to that question, what does my body need in order to heal? And it will never steer you wrong. In order for you to make the right diagnosis of what might be at the root cause of your illness or symptoms, you must be able to hear the voice of this inner wisdom. That's why your inner pilot light is the foundation stone. Because making healthy decisions about your life and your body requires continually coming back to the question, what is true for me? What's true for me about my relationships? What's true for me about my work? You can always trust your inner pilot light to get you back in touch with your life force. That's part of how you make your own diagnosis of what might be lying at the root of your illness. But you might have trouble hearing the authentic voice of your inner pilot light because you have a second voice inside of you, which I call the gremlin. Now, your gremlin is the voice of your fraidy cat amygdala. So sometimes this fear voice speaks truth, like when it's telling you to run because you're being chased by a tiger, or like Jody running away from the car. But 99% of the time, the red alerts triggered by your gremlin are unfounded. If you're like most of us, your gremlin voice may be so loud that it drowns out the voice of your inner pilot light. But when you practice hearing the voice of your inner pilot light, you can begin to get clear about what it's going to take to help your body's natural self-repair mechanisms do their job. So every stone in the whole health cairn has been scientifically proven to be essential for optimal health. But right now, I'd like to delve deeper into one of the stones, the relationship stone. So back in the 1960s, a visiting cardiologist was having a drink at the bar with the local doctor who took care of the people of Roseto, Pennsylvania, which was a community of Italian immigrants who had crossed the Atlantic and recreated the old world in the new world. So the local doctor is telling the cardiologist how strange it was that the people of Roseto never seemed to die of heart disease like the people in the neighboring communities. In fact, he said, the people of Roseto seemed to have lower rates of almost every illness. Most of them were dying of old age. Why? Well, it wasn't their diet. They ate meatballs fried in lard, and pasta and pizza. It wasn't their DNA, it wasn't the water supply, it wasn't their health care, they all went to the same hospital. So what was it? Researchers finally concluded that the people of Roseto had half the rate of heart disease as the rest of the country because nobody was ever lonely. The love and support of others in the close-knit community alleviated the stress and overwhelm that comes with trying to navigate the details of life alone, thereby avoiding the chronic repetitive stress responses that lonely people often experience. As it turns out, alleviation of loneliness is preventive medicine, and the scientific data suggests that loneliness is a stronger risk factor for illness than smoking or failure to exercise. Sadly, by the end of the 1970s, the community had disbanded, and the heart disease rates rose to the national average in Roseto. Those who are part of a community don't have to navigate life alone. So alleviating loneliness and helping individuals manage overwhelm is medicine for the soul and the body. When's the last time your doctor suggested that to you? So let me encourage you to examine the relationship stone in your own whole health cairn. I want you to ask your inner pilot light, what is true for me about my relationships? Keep in mind that if you're feeling like you don't really have a community of your own, you have the power to create it. I know someone who owns guinea pigs, and she has joined a community of guinea pig lovers. These days, if there's something that interests you, I guarantee you there's a community of others who love what you love. Just get on the internet and find out where they gather. This is how you'll use the whole health cairn for every stone in the cairn in order to make your own diagnosis. When we're done here, I'd like you to take some time out and find a quiet place that you love and do the following. Examine all the other stones in your whole health cairn and ask yourself the same questions. What is true for me about my professional life? What is true for me about my spiritual life? And so forth. Go through every stone in the whole health cairn and see if anything feels like it might be out of alignment with your truth. If you identify anything that you think might be triggering stress responses in your body, write it down. This is your diagnosis. Now remember the question that I asked you at the beginning of this program? It's so important that I'm going to ask it again because this is how you write the prescription for yourself. I invite you to ask yourself now, what does my body need in order to heal? Maybe your prescription will include some traditional healthy behaviors like adding green juice to your diet or cutting out carbs or starting an exercise regimen. But just as importantly, your prescription might include things like, I need to find my community. I need to start marriage counseling. I need to be of greater service in my work. I need to tap into source. Make sure you add to your prescription any relaxation response activators that feel resonant with you. When you're writing your prescription, courage is essential. It's part and parcel of making your body your business. Now, I know you have within you the inner strength to face your truth, and I have every faith that you can put your prescription into action like Stomatis and Marla did. If you feel your courage waning, call upon your inner pilot light. That part of you will always cheerlead you when you're feeling scared. And remember that if what comes up for you when you're writing your prescription overwhelms you like it did many of my patients and me, just start with one little baby step. Okay, now remember the gremlin, the voice of your fraidy cat amygdala? When you write your own prescription, here's what's going to happen. I guarantee you that you're going to hear the voice of your gremlin chattering away. The gremlin's voice sometimes has a good reason to speak up, but we all know that the fear voice can get out of hand. So what do you do when the gremlin tells you it's not safe to do what you know you must do in order to optimize your health? You have to cultivate a strong and trusting relationship with your inner pilot light and choose to be guided by that voice instead. If you're not sure how to hear the voice of your inner pilot light, then let your body be your guide. Your body speaks to you in whispers, and when you ignore the whispers, your body starts to yell. So learn to listen to the whispers. Sometimes it can be hard to tell the difference between your inner pilot light and your gremlin. My author friend, Martha Beck, says the difference will be that your truth will always feel like freedom. I still hear that gremlin voice. I just don't give it the power to make my decisions anymore, and I don't want you to either. Now, some of you are probably thinking, okay, fine, so I'm going to do all of this, and I'm going to take these huge risks, and I'm going to do these crazy, scary things, but where's my guarantee that I'll be cured? I'm afraid there are no guarantees. Some people will do everything right, and they're still sick. My other author friend, Chris Carr, is a great example of this. Maybe you're familiar with Chris's Crazy Sexy Cancer documentary. So Chris was 32 years old when she was diagnosed with a stage 4 rare blood vessel cancer for which there is no cure. She was told that she would die within 10 years. So Chris set out on a mission to heal herself and found a doctor willing to support her self-healing journey. Together, they crafted the prescription for her that didn't include any conventional medical treatment for cancer, but it was filled with raw foods, green juice, a vegan diet, and a plan for balancing the other stones in Chris's whole health care. So Chris still has stage 4 cancer, but more than 10 years later, she's still symptom-free and thriving, and her tumors haven't grown at all over this time. So Chris may not be cured, but she is certainly healed. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what I can guarantee is that if you do this personal work, you will put your body in a relaxation response the majority of the time. Your natural self-repair mechanisms will be optimized, and you can say to yourself honestly, I did everything I could. You will be healed, even if you're not cured. So what's the difference? The medical establishment doesn't often acknowledge it, but I believe there's a real difference between curing and healing. The dictionary defines to cure as the elimination of disease. To heal, on the other hand, is to become whole. To be healed is to return to wholeness, and this can happen with or without being cured. But when you become whole, your self-repair mechanisms kick into action, and cure actually becomes more likely. Now, I want to make one thing really clear here. I am in no way blaming anyone for their illness. There is absolutely no place for blame, shame, or guilt on anyone's healing journey. Such negative emotions only trigger more stress responses that just make it harder for the body to heal. Now, many people battling serious illnesses are positive, inspiring people who have made wonderful life and health choices. Some are even young children or even babies. I'm in no way suggesting that these people have in some way brought illness upon themselves. What I am saying is that your body is your business, and you have the opportunity to participate in your healing journey. One of my mentors, Dr. Christiane Northrup, I think puts it best. She says, you are responsible to your illness, not for your illness. And I completely agree. The way I see it, when you get sick or injured, you can approach it in two ways. You can see yourself as a helpless victim of bad luck or bad genes, and you can throw your hands up in the air and hand your body over to someone else that you believe knows your body better than you do. And you can wallow in how unfortunate you are. Or you can be proactive and invite illness to be a wake-up call and a spiritual practice that leads you to enlightenment. So to close our time together, I'd like to ask you all to stand up with me and hold hands with each other. Now, I'm on a mission to heal healthcare, and I'm going to need your help, all of you at home too. Stand up. Healing healthcare will take a village, and those of you who are on board to help me do this are part of this village. I believe our healthcare system is badly broken because we've lost respect for the body's ability to heal itself, and we've forgotten the healing power of love. I think it's time to take back our health and our power and to unite in community in support of this shared vision. I know it seems hopeless to think that healthcare can reclaim its heart, but just like I believe there are no incurable illnesses, I believe there are no incurable systems. I believe we can rise up and open our minds and open our hearts and bring the care back to healthcare. So just for a moment, let's all have a moment of silence and hold that intention. Even as we connect with each other in community in this way, we fill our bodies with oxytocin and endorphins and other healing hormones, and we switch off our stress responses and flip on our relaxation responses. When this happens, not only can we heal ourselves, I sincerely believe we can heal healthcare. So I want to leave you all with a quote from Dr. Albert Schweitzer. It's supposed to be a secret, but I'll tell you anyway. We doctors do nothing. We only help and encourage the doctor within. It all starts with you. Be the love you want to see in healthcare, and miracles really can happen. Thank you all.